What's up, everybody? My name is Vincent. Welcome to Cryptolution, where we give you the best investing and breaking news with everything under the moon in the crypto universe. Today, we're going to be talking about a lot of news around the SEC and also upcoming regulations in the infrastructure bill, and possibly 3 coins that I believe are safe during this hostile, volatile month of September. A lot of people are asking me, what are the 3 safest cryptos out there? And I thought that was a great question. So today we're going to dive deep into what those cryptos are, kind of where SEC and regulation stands, and what can be considered not a security, but more of a commodity and digital asset. So before we begin, I want you guys to know that this is not financial advice. This is just my own financial opinion, and for financial entertainment, please do your own research. And before we also begin, be sure to like that button because it helps this channel out, and I want to keep providing these essential videos to allow you to invest safely and invest wisely. So with that said, let's begin. So I think it's good to know that right now we're kind of in a slight dip, and as we've mentioned before, if we ever see dips, these are great buying opportunities. And right now, Cardano's at $2.44, Solana's at $177, Ethereum at 3,300, Polkadot at 29. So let's just go ahead and skip past this because we want to know. I want to describe what a digital asset is. So who's in charge? An overview of U.S. digital assets regulation, right? So in here, it describes in the United States, a threshold regulatory question for digital assets is whether the asset is a security or a commodity. The rules for each category are different, as they are primary regulators, with securities being regulated by Securities and Exchange Commissions, and derivatives related to commodities being regulated by the Commodities Futures Trading Commission. Further down, it is likely that many initial coins ICOs will constitute offerings for securities under the prevailing Howey test used by the SEC to determine whether digital assets constitute as securities. In short, if the digital asset can be characterized as an investment of money in a common enterprise with the expectation of profits derived from the efforts of others, it is likely qualifies as a security under SEC precedents. Further down, it says some digital assets such as Bitcoin were designed for the sole function of value exchange, while other digital assets facilitate transactions such as smart contracts or particular activities on purpose-built networks. For example, Ether via Ethereum allows for payment of certain computation costs associated with executing smart contracts. Popular digital assets like Bitcoin or Ether are considered to be commodities from a regulatory perspective, and therefore futures, options, swaps, or other derivative transactions relating to those assets fall under the CFTC's jurisdiction. The CFTC generally does not regulate spot transaction in commodities, although such transactions are subject to the CFTC prohibitions on fraud and manipulation. Now, the reason I want to share this article is because I want you guys to understand what these commodities are, because there's a lot of scrutiny over Uniswap, XRP, and also there's this other thing going on with Coinbase. And I think that there are 3 specific cryptos I believe are safer than most. I wouldn't say they're completely safe because I never want things to be, guaranteed. Things could change in the month ahead. But for me, I do think that these 3 are good. So first one is obviously Ethereum. And why is that? Well, guess what? The Ethereum Trust, built by Grayscale, is regulated by the U.S. Securities Exchange Commission and incorporated in the state of Delaware. Grayscale Ethereum Trust is primarily in the business of finance services. For financial reporting, their fiscal year ends on December 31st, yada, yada, yada. So Grayscale's already positioned this to be a commodity, and now it's be considered a digital asset in the strongest point because it's deflationary. They added the EIP 1559, which burns the amount of Ethereum that then there are minted. And right now we had a recent spike up on 124-hour daily chart where Ethereum's burning actually rose above the amount of Ethereum minted. So that was really cool. So right now the EIP 1559 is actually doing really well to make this a deflationary asset. So obviously this is number 1 I would hold in your portfolio, and considering that the price is only 3,300 compared to Bitcoin, which is 45,000, why not put some of your money in your investments into Grayscale Ethereum Trust? Or I'm sorry, really that's more for, accredited investors in the thousands and millions or whatever. For retail investors like us, we need to invest in Ethereum, just Ethereum. You can buy that on any of your exchanges, such as Coinbase, KuCoin, Crypto.com, whatever you want. So Ethereum is definitely number one. Number two is Cardano. And the reason I chose Cardano is because Grayscale has added Cardano in its large cap fund. And with the large cap fund, it follows the same relations with Bitcoin and Ethereum. And the reason Cardano, I feel, doesn't have its own trust in Grayscale is because it hasn't launched its smart contracts yet. And it's still in development. And it's supposed to be released in 2 days from now, which is on Sunday, for smart contracts. And once that happens, decentralized applications can be built on there, so forth, so on. And I believe that it's really well positioned to be, really safe regarding the SEC. I think they're going to follow compliance. They've done a really good job in Japan getting passed to be traded there because they have huge regulation scrutiny with any cryptos, and Cardano passed that test, and now it follows the likes of Litecoin, Bitcoin, Ethereum. Not many pass in Japan. And also, on top of that, Cardano Foundation partners with CoinForm for FATF and 6AMLD compliance. That means that the nonprofit organization behind Cardano has partnered with the blockchain analytics provider CoinForm to ensure ADA is compliant with the Financial Actions Task Force guidelines. The Cardano Foundation said it would be using CoinForm services to provide anti-money laundering and combating financing of terrorism analytics for Cardano's native currency, ADA. According to the foundation, the integration will allow the project to be in full compliance with the guidelines set forth by Financial Action Task Force, the European Union 6 Anti-Money Laundering Directive, or 6AMLD and other regulation applicable to Cardano. So you can kind of see there that Cardano is positioning itself really well and getting itself ready for regulation and scrutiny by the SEC and from Congress coming up in September. A lot of things are happening. Remember, this is a month where the infrastructure bill is going to be talked about on the Congress floor. So Cardano is positioning itself really well ahead of time. And I think that number two is Cardano for investment portfolio. And last but not least is Solana. Why is that? Well, Solana funds Osprey Funds debut Solana fund. So Osprey Funds, a Tarrytown, New York-based digital asset management firm, has launched the Osprey Solana Trust for private placement. The Osprey Solana Trust is now available to accredited investors for subscription with a $10,000 minimum investment. The company say that it intends to list the fund on OTCQX market as soon as possible. Now, he said that the pedigree of science and potential of the technology behind Solana is unique amongst current blockchain. Gray King said, Solana has the potential to become the rails of the integrated decentralized financial network that establishes one global price for assets. With the debut of the Osprey Solana Trust Fund, we are continuing to build on-ramps for the investors to access what we believe is the most promising blockchain technology. The parent company Osprey filed for a Bitcoin ETF in 2017, so we've been in dialogue with the SEC staff since then. And if a Bitcoin ETF is coming through Gary Gensler's administration, my view is that it's not going to happen this year. I think it's going to that there are so many things on their plate, it's going to take them a while to assess the situation. So again, when somebody's starting a trust or a fund for a specific blockchain, I think that's very bullish news. That means that there's a lot of promise there and that these companies are doing their due diligence to follow the SEC guidelines. And with that on top, you can't avoid these things. If you're following the SEC guidelines, that means you're going to do pretty well, I think, in the infrastructure bill once it passes. And, since there's thousands upon thousands of cryptocurrencies out there, I always like to focus on the top 10. And within those top 10, I like to see who has the most promise, who has less, I guess you could say less errors, less problems, less lawsuits, if you could say. Like right now, I personally don't invest in XRP because of regulatory issues, BNB as well. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. And, especially with Uniswap now coming into play. Again, this is not to say you should not invest in those things. That's, I don't want there to be any, backlash around my thoughts or opinions. This is just, my opinion. I do hold a bit of Uniswap. I do hold Binance Coin, just for transparency. So, I just want to share those three because I feel like they have the most promise. I think DeFi blockchains are the way to go in terms of safe investments and long-term, longevity, just to think of it like that. So, guys, I hope that this has been helpful. This is just a little quick video. My 3 coins, again, that is Ethereum, Cardano, and Solana. And again, invest safely. These are, there's going to be a crazy month ahead. And again, if you experience any dips in this market in the month of September, it's completely normal. And if you ever see those dips, make sure to dollar cost average and not to put all your funds in. Just make it sure that it is disposable income, because you got to put in money that you're willing to lose. But again, you can get significant gains from these things if you invest the right way. So with that said, guys, be sure to like that subscribe button. Be sure to hit that notification bell and leave some comments down below to let me know your thoughts of the 3 safest cryptos you think will do well against the SEC and the upcoming infrastructure bill in Congress. Until then, guys, I'll speak to you guys next time.